in, and researchers say when you look at the numbers, white students are doing okay, but the scores for Black and Hispanic students are not looking good.
Those slower performing students tend to be losing ground or maintaining.
The national report card is in, and it's causing concern. Experts say while overall scores for 9 and 13-year-olds have improved since the 70s, for the first time in 50 years, scores for certain students have dropped.
But when you compare the data to the previous assessment in 2012, we see that 13-year-olds in both mathematics and reading have declined.
Grady Wilburn is a statistician with the National Center for Education Statistics. He says they've been collecting this data since the 70s, and the most recent report shows a troubling trend. Higher performing students are doing better than ever before, but when it comes to math and reading scores for 9 and 13-year-olds, the underperforming students are doing worse than they were in 2012, and the gaps are the greatest for students in Black and brown communities.
Black students and Hispanic students have declined, while white students have maintained. And so because of that decline, the achievement gap that was already there between white and Black students has become even wider. It went from 28 points in 2012 to 35 points in 2020.
On top of that, researchers say the data was collected at the beginning of 2020, which has advocates sounding the alarm.
I really shudder to think what this is going to look like coming out of the pandemic.
Jenny Hontz is with the parent advocacy organization Speak Up in Los Angeles. She says it's going to take some serious hands-on efforts, funding, and focus on teacher accountability to help Black and Hispanic students overcome these obstacles. For example, Speak Up has a tutoring program that pairs Black college students with Black students in LAUSD, and she says the results speak for themselves.
I think it's important to really take a look at the systemic problem. Many neighborhood school boundaries were created in an era of racist housing codes. And what that means is you have a lot of low-income kids of color concentrated in some of the lowest performing schools. And we need to really take a look at the whole system, which really was created generations ago and rooted in systemic racism, and take a look at that and say, how can we do better?